Yo, what's up, y'all? Today, as we enter the holiday season, I wanted to share my experience with gift giving. So, last year, I suggested to my parents that we should stop giving gifts to each other in our family for Christmas, for birthdays, whatever. I'm over 30 years old, and it's a hassle, man. It's a hassle. Even though we don't have a big family, we only have four people. It's a hassle to buy gifts all the time. For me, I took a lot of time in selecting gifts for my family. I really took a lot of thought into it, put a lot of thought into it. And what I saw from my family members was that they didn't put a lot of time into gift giving. So they would just, go to the store one day and just buy anything instead of actually thinking about it. Of course, they thought about it. They didn't just, pick out random items to buy. And I know that we should be thankful for anything we get, but I think the point is that we were just wasting money on a tradition that is kind of antiquated. We don't need to buy gifts to show that we love each other or that we appreciate each other. We do that the rest of the year. There is no other reason to buy gifts other than to fit in with the rest of society. And for my father, he rarely buys gifts for anyone. So I was always torn about buying gifts for him because I would put so much thought into picking gifts for him and he wouldn't even get me anything. He would put all the burden of selecting and buying gifts on my mother. So it was like, there's no reciprocity. So you might be saying, oh, gift giving is about the process of giving. You don't need to expect anything in return. And that's good and all, but after years and years of the same thing, it's like enough is enough. There's a limit to how much you can give without actually receiving anything. The point is that gift giving is not the only method of showing that you love someone. So even though my dad didn't get me any gifts, he showed his love in other ways, and that's what's important. Important is the receiving and giving of love and the acknowledgement of that by the receiver and the giver. And we already experienced that, so it wasn't necessary to continue with the arcane practice of giving and receiving gifts. Now, if you have a child or you are a child, I think you should continue that tradition because children don't really get to buy anything because they don't have an income. So being able to get something at least twice a year on Christmas and the birthday is important for children. So if you have a child, you should continue the tradition. And if you are a child, you should continue the tradition as well, because if you just get gifts as a child, you might not get gifts from your parents. So unfortunately, much of society is still a give and take. So I just wanted to share how my life has changed. It's a lot less stressful not having to buy gifts. It's the thought. I've always been very thoughtful about the gifts. Sometimes, rarely I just wing it and just buy a gift card or something. But usually I spent a lot of time picking and buying gifts. So not having to do that has been a great weight lifted off my shoulders. And it's ironic too because as we've stopped giving gifts, I feel like my love for my family has increased rather than decreased. It's really ironic how life works sometimes.
Well, thank you for joining me on another video. Have a great day.